Bond. Bottled in Bond.
We are back. Cheers.
Cheers.
We reviewed recently Jack Daniel's Bonded,
yeah.
their new product.
Which is supposed to be the best in the world.
The best of the best.
2022 or whatever.
There's actually just never been a better whiskey in the world, ever.
Period.
So we told you guys that we would come up with a list of better bonded whiskeys than that. So we'll see how we've done today.
Right.
We've got 5 whiskeys that we've picked out.
That are our top 5.
Top 5 here.
Bottled in Bond bottles.
Yeah.
On a budget.
On a budget. Yeah, we're not
be able to find.
Right. This is not like an E.H. Taylor single barrel store pick that's going to cost you $300 in the secondary market.
Right.
These are all within a budget. So don't yell at us if you don't. Yeah. I mean, yell at Ben. It's fine.
Yeah. So number 1, we're starting at the bottom of the budget bottle range, and we're going to go with Jim Beam Bonded.
Jim Beam Bonded.
Jim Beam Bonded.
Keeping it classy.
So as a reminder, what do you got to be bottled in bond?
100 proof.
100 proof, minimum of 4 years.
Yeah. Bonded warehouse, government
bonded warehouse. Yeah, that's pretty much what you need to know. And that it's safe to drink. So this is one of the major distilleries, Jim Beam, and this is like your first step up. If you're just used to drinking regular Jim Beam, the big like the white label, right? Just take one step up, get a little higher proof, a little bit older, at a minimum. Still has that like peanut brittle profile on it, and it's pretty affordable. So number 1, Jim Beam Bonded.
Very budget friendly.
Very
maybe one of the most budget friendly bottles you can get. Bonded anyway.
I would probably tend to agree. It's one of the.
And there's other ones too. Like there's an Evan Williams bottle. Like there's some stuff that's down in that range.
Yeah.
But it's way cheaper than that Jack Daniel's one. That's like $35-$40.
Right. So I think if you're looking at like the bottom of the bond range, it's mostly going to be your Jim Beam, your Evan Williams. Like that's kind of like
my first one, which we'll transition to mine in just a minute. But similar.
So this is a good option if you're looking to get into the bottle and bond option.
What are your thoughts on it, as the whiskey connoisseur that you are?
I think there's less mouthfeel than I was hoping for. There's definitely a kind of delicateness almost.
It makes sense. It's a lot.
Even with it being 100 proof.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to scare anybody away with this bottle.
Easy to drink.
Yeah. Pretty easy. Less apple notes, less bright fruit, and more of like a peanut profile, which is like classic Beam.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So I've got Old Granddad Bottle and Bond as my first one.
Ooh, that's a good option.
Yeah. Very classic bourbon nose on it. We're making a blend here in the back, so
Bond blend.
Yeah, we'll chug that at the end. Very classic bourbon nose on it. So staying as part of that Beam line, I'm getting some of that peanut as well. Mm-hmm. I get a little bit more toffee notes.
Interesting.
So a little bit sweeter, a little bit more of that candy vibe. It's obviously a different mash bill than just your regular Beam bottom of the line thing. So it's good. For a few more dollars, a little more unique. Brendan loves Old Granddad Bottle and Bond. When we were up in Charlotte together about a year ago, it's been about a year and a half now. This was his room drinker. This is what he got as a room drinker, and so that's why we're drinking it right now. But it is really good. Yeah. Like for a $25 bottle, like really, really affordable.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's interesting because I lean more into the Old Granddad 114 range than the Old Granddad Bonded, but I do think that's also a really great option.
It's a great value. In fact, I wouldn't suggest, if you're just kind of looking to be the most economical possible, the Jim Beam Bond is probably a really good choice. If you want to take a little bit of a step up for that, have a little bit more complexity with your bonded drink, I would certainly push you more toward the Old Granddad range if you want to stay under that $30 or so.
Yeah. So what I have for number 3, this is New Riff, and it's their bourbon. And what's interesting about New Riff is they're a relatively new distillery. They came out, I believe, in 2017, or was it 2014? It's either 2014, 2017, that kind of era. But what's interesting is like this is their bottom of the product line. This is their baseline product. And so that all of the bourbon or all the whiskey, mostly coming out of New Riff, is going to be at least qualified for that 4-year profile, at least for their bottom range stuff. And so I believe, I'm almost positive that they offer a bourbon and a rye. Both of them are bonded. And so I think this one is going to be a little bit more expensive, being New Riff is just like kind of a new, younger distillery.
Yeah.
So you're going to spend probably more in the like the $40 range for this bottle, but the quality of product is going to be pretty fantastic.
Intensely better, yeah.
Yeah. We have a couple of store picks of New Riff, and they've all been really, really great. So I like what they're doing there. And so just supporting their typical range is really nice.
It's also cool that their baseline, as you've mentioned, is truly the bottled and bond, right? Like there's some baseline stuff out there that's just like
80 proof.
I wouldn't mix that with my Coke.
A year and a half.
But
I think this is like really cool. Way more caramel, way more hearty of a nose and a palate. It drinks heavier. There's more flavor, more profile, and just across the board for this one.
Yeah.
Certainly some more oakiness. Caramel, I think almost like toffee, like you were saying. A ton of vanilla. Again, like it's just at 4 years. At 4 years, you're looking at pretty much straight down Bourbon Lane. But you should be at least.
Yeah.
A little spicier too, on at least on the back end, which is nice.
A little more barrel spice. And it's a minimum of 4. We could be going a little longer with.
I don't hate that. I do not hate that
that's a good for us. Good standard.
Good
product.
Drinker.
People ask all the time, like, what a good $40-$50 bottle is just to drink all the time.
Yeah.
And that would fit that. That's just a good classic bourbon. It's not going to upset anybody. Not going to offend anybody.
Right.
It's not like crazy way out of left field, something super unique, but just a really good solid bourbon.
Yeah. These are also, any bottle and bond product is going to be great for drinkers who are constantly drinking Buffalo Trace or Eagle Rare or Basil Hayden, and they're looking to move up in proof slightly. And so you basically can have a little bit more age and proof at the same time.
Yeah.
So you're not just throwing a bunch of alcohol or ethanol at it. You get some age and some caramel as well.
Hard to go from that 90 range of those standard ones and then up to the 130 or 120 range.
Right.
It's a good step up to where you're not crushing it anymore.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. So number 4, my second one, a Chattanooga Bottle and Bond. We have, we're keeping it with the younger, newer distilleries. Chattanooga is a favorite of ours. We've done a lot of talking about them. We've tried a bunch of their products, everything from their, we were sent a Father's Day bottle.
There's a Founder's bottle. There's a Father's Day bottle. There's
so much there.
Yeah.
And they do a great job. Brendan just recently reviewed a wine finished of theirs.
Yes.
And so this is really good too. It is certainly a step up from the old granddad that I had as far as nose, character on it. It's much sweeter on the nose. But you really like Chattanooga as I taste this.
I do like Chattanooga a lot. Again, I think there's a good reason why some of the younger distilleries and the craft distilleries are on this list is because Bottle and Bond is more of a presentation for the younger guys versus just like an afterthought for like some of the bigger guys, especially if it's like a mass-produced bottle. So,
yeah, that's really good. There's some, like you said, more barrel spice there on this. There's almost some dried fruit in there. Maybe I'm getting like a
apricot.
I was going to say an apricot. Yeah, almost like an apricot or a peach. Really good like stone fruit in there. Traditional caramel. Some really, really good unique flavors going on. Where, as we talked about with the old granddad, probably the Jim Beam, pretty straight down home plate. Even the New Riff, pretty straight down home plate. But this Chattanooga has a lot of character and is really, really good. Chattanooga Bottle and Bond. We've liked just about everything we've tried from there. They do a really, really good job. Everything from just their 91 up to their 111 has been really, really good. And obviously, this is right in the middle of both of those. So I like this a lot.
So one thing that we were talking about when we were compiling our list was we wanted it to be something that you could walk into a store and find on the shelf, not super difficultly, or wasn't super difficult to find. And so most of our list has all been that. And now there are some super rare Bottle and Bond products that you just won't be able to find.
Master's Keep, E.H. Taylor.
Yes, like stuff that we just couldn't put on this list because sure, they're great, but
defeats the purpose of telling you to
Right.
go look for them.
I think this number 5,
Is
which
a
is
blend.
arguably the best,
Yeah.
but it kind of walks the
Absolutely.
line of availability.
It's Johnny Cash.
Sure.
Oh, you said it.
Yeah, Johnny Bond. And that is Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond.
Yeah.
Again, another one of the larger distilleries within Kentucky. And this is going to be a little bit harder to find. You'll see it thrown out maybe once a month, twice a month. And they're going to be at the $50 to $60 range, at least in my opinion, from what I've been seeing.
You can find some 40, 45s if you're really lucky.
If you're really lucky. But I think
yeah, a lot of
MSRP
people are
getting pushed on this.
Yeah. And you'll find a lot of store picks of this. People do store picks of this.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen a couple. Yeah, I've seen a couple of these. Not super common.
Right.
And they're gone quickly, but they do happen.
Yeah. Interesting nose on this. I'm almost getting like a licorice.
There's definitely more, spice in that.
Yeah. Again, this is Heaven Hill, and it is not like my favorite distillery.
Not my favorite profile, yeah. But from the times I've had this product in the past, and I'll try it here in a second, I've really thought this was a very good classic bourbon.
Interesting.
Yeah?
Interesting. I think I would take New Riff over this. In my head. On my palate.
I mean, this is just classic Heaven Hill to me.
That's true.
Like, very much.
Yeah.
It's not my profile, but they obviously do a really, really good job. A lot of people really, really love their products.
Yeah.
No matter where they are. But it stays true to that classic Heaven Hill profile.
It's like a bitter oak,
very vanilla, yeah.
Yeah, like that kind of profile. And I think the bitterness is what throws me off.
There's a lot of bitterness,
but some
a lot
people
of
like
spice.
a lot of the like bitter oak.
Where I'm a lot sweeter, right? Like I like the
Right.
Chattanooga because it had that stone fruit, it had that very sweet caramel flavor.
Mm-hmm.
This has less of that. Nose is interesting for sure.
Yeah, it's
and we have
different.
poured 3 things in this now, so maybe we're not.
You know what? That is very true.
Still probably wouldn't say anything about it.
Yeah, interesting. So I think this list of our top 5 Bottle and Bond products
on a budget.
On a budget.
Yeah, I'd be have H. Taylor and some of the other ones up there. Pretty high.
Definitely keep an eye out. If you, like I said, if you're drinking some of the 80 or 90 proof product right now on the market, a regular Jim Beam, a regular Elijah Craig, go ahead and step up to the Jim Beam Bonded, the Old Granddad Bonded, the Heaven Hill Bonded. That just gives you the same kind of base profile, and you step up in proof a little bit and a little bit of age as well. So
I think we were ranking them. We'd have New Riff and Chattanooga at the front.
Yeah.
I think we'd have Old Granddad next, Heaven Hill, and then Jim Beam, something like that.
Yeah.
Some kind of ranking there.
It's almost based on price.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you do get what you pay for, but these are all still kind of within a budget. Maybe that Heaven Hill touches the top of the budget. Maybe the New Riff is somewhere in the middle. Chattanooga is somewhere in the middle. But, we're talking bottles that are from $20 to $60. So we're not going with our $150 secondary bottles or anything like that. So, hey, if you enjoy the content, leave a comment down below. Let us know what kind of other videos you'd like to see, what kind of other reviews, lists, battles, head-to-heads, whatever you're looking for, we will try and get it done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Cheers.